Hello Red Zoners, Jerry and Elvin here, counting down the top 5 Hour of Devastation's rares and mythics for limited. We're taking turns starting with my number 5, Unesh, Cryosphinx Sovereign. And no, I did not put it in this list, just to spite Elvin. It's actually a good card. 4
Really?
blue for a 4 flying Sphinx. Sphinx costs 2 less to cast, which is not gonna be ever relevant. But whenever or another Sphinx comes into play on the battlefield under your control, you get a mini factor fiction with just 4 cards. So 4 for flying for 6 with a mini factor fiction effect is just exactly what you're looking for in your curb topper.
Yeah, and it's also a 4/4 flyer, so that's a very, very big clock. So it's going to your opponent has to do something about it. But in the meantime, you should be able to get at least 1 or 2 activations out of it and get your.
Well, you're probably gonna get 1 because you need to play a Sphinx. So it's like 4 for flying and you get 2 extra cards.
My number 5 is Mirage Mirror, which is an artifact which costs 3. And for 2 mana, you can. Mirage Mirror becomes a copy of target artifact, creature, enchantment, or land until end of turn. It's just so versatile. You can use it to copy your opponent's best creature or artifact as need be. And if you're it can mana fix if you want to. But really, the tricks that you can pull with it is really one of the reasons why I put it in my top 5.
Yeah, well, the reason I don't have it in my top 5 is I don't really want to be paying 2 every turn just to make it copy anything. And I guess I think it's kind of slow for draft. But yeah, in limited, it has some potential at least. Anyway, so yeah, going to my number 4, it's Kefnet's Last Word. 2 blue, gain control of target artifact, creature, or enchantment. Lands you control don't untap during your next end step. So it's mind controlled, except you skip your next turn sort of, but it also gives you the ability to gain control of an artifact or enchantment when that's relevant. But yeah, mind control abilities, especially one that only costs 4 mana, it's still always going to be a good card for limited.
Yeah, anytime that you can gain control of a creature, let alone an artifact or a creature, means that you swing. Not only you take away from your opponent, but also you get the creature yourself. So it's really a big swing and worth the skipping of 1 turn.
Yeah, it's an actual 2 for 1, and also you'd probably be playing this most of the time when you're top decking anyway. So the does not untap thing might not be relevant when it's actually that's happening. So yeah.
My number 4 is God's Pharaoh's Gift, which is a 7 cost artifact which at the beginning of your combat on your turn, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, create a token that's a copy of the card, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. It gains haste until end of turn. Essentially, you eternalize something from your graveyard. This is really strong because, first of all, it's colorless, so you can splash into almost any deck, and it gives any deck, aggressive, mid-range, a sort of topper. And when you have this card, it just gives you so much advantage. Your 1/1s become 4/4s with whatever abilities they had before, and you can use it immediately after you cast it.
Yeah. So same as the mirror thing. This is not on my list because I think it might be a bit too slow for draft. But yeah, in limited, it should be fine.
Yep.
Moving on to my number 3, Angel of Condemnation. 2 white, 3/3 flying vigilance. 2 in a white, tap it, exile another target creature, return that creature to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. And it also has 2 in a white, tap it and exert it. Exile another target creature until Angel of Condemnation leaves the battlefield. So what you have is a 4 mana 3/3 flying with vigilance, so you can attack every turn and blink something afterwards, or attack every other turn and exile the creature until they get to kill it. Given that it's not that hard to kill in limited because it's just a 3/3, but they still do have to draw that card to kill it, and even if so, 4 mana for a 3/3 flying vigilance, it's not a bad card to start with.
Yeah, exactly. This is also my number 3, and I really saw the fact that it's a 3/3 for 4 mana that's flying, and vigilance. So even if it had blank text, it's a pretty
Yeah.
good card. The fact that its text is removal and you can use it even after attacking makes it so useful. It's very good. Really, I agree 100% with the level of this power level
Yeah.
of this card.
Yeah, so apparently it is the third best card for Hour of Devastation Limited.
Yep.
Okay, so moving on to my number 2, it's Pride Sovereign. It's 2 in a green for a 2/2 cat. Pride
Hmm.
Sovereign gets +1/+1 for each other cat you control. Pay a white and tap and exert it. Create 2 white 1/1 cat tokens with lifelink. So 3 mana for a 2/2. The first time you activate it, though, it becomes a 4/4, and anytime after that is just, it's just gravy.
Yeah, it's on its own. It just every other turn starts spewing out kittens, and it gets bigger and bigger. And if your opponent can't deal with the sovereign, it's just gonna start overwhelming your opponent. So
Mhm.
yeah. My number two though is Nimble Obstructionist, which is a two blue bird wizard with flash and flying. That's 3/1. It also has two and blue cycling. And when you cycle Nimble Obstructionist, you can counter target activated or triggered ability that you don't control. So it's a 3/1, a 3 cost 3/1 flyer that also has flash. And the fact that you can cycle it, does so much, and that's why I think this is the number two creature.
Yeah, the body alone is good. Flash makes it a lot better. Cycling makes it a
Mhm.
lot better. And the cycling ability, I'm not sure how often that will come up,
Yeah, I don't think.
but when it does come up and it counters something really relevant, it's gonna be game breaking as well. So yeah,
Mhm.
that is worthy of a number 2 slot.
Yeah,
So moving on to our number ones,
yeah,
and mine is actually a cycle, and it's the cycle of gods.
yeah. Well, I actually chose one god, but I agree that the three gods are pretty close in power levels. Well, I chose one, so the one I chose was actually the locust god, but all of the gods, the scarab god and the scorpion god, are all top one level.
Yeah, I mean, they're almost, or maybe not just almost, but they are probably in the same power level. But if I had to pick one, I would choose the Locust God as well.
Hmm.
But to give you an idea of what they do, they're big creature. Let's go with the Locust God. It's 4 blue, red, flying for a 4/4. A 4/4
Hmm.
flying. Whenever you draw a card, create a 1/1 blue and red insect creature token with flying and haste. Pay
Hmm.
2 blue red, draw a card, and then discard a card. So that's your engine for creating more 1/1 flyings with haste every
Yeah.
turn. And whenever it the god dies, which is the same for all the gods, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. So it's kind of unkillable, and
Yeah,
it
and there's
has
very
good
few
stats.
exile cards. Yeah, there are very few exile cards in this. There are exile cards, but they're not as
Hmm.
prevalent, and they're really high cost. So usually, if you play this, they're also limited to a color. So if you play this, you're generally going to be winning.
Yeah, and they're at the top of your curve anyway. So if the opponent had some, decent exile cards, they've already used them probably. And
Mhm.
pacifism cards kind of don't work against these gods because their abilities alone are good enough. Even if you get to pacify them, this god, the locust god, for example, gets to so create 1/1s. The scarab god still gets to create eternals. The scorpion god still gets to put -1/-1 counters and draw a card. Well, probably gets 2 activations per turn. So
Yeah,
they're really just in a different power level compared to
any
all
other
all of
cards?
any other card actually.
Yeah.
Period. So
Mhm.
windmill slam first picks, and you just can't really pass these cards even if
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
not inclined to pick their colors.
Yeah, but if somehow you're drafting and you get a foil Scorpion God and a non-foil Locust God, I'd go with getting the Locust God and passing it.
Oh, I guess yeah. If that were the case, then that's the only time you actually have to pick
Yeah.
from one of them. So anyway, tell us what you think of our list.
What your top five cards are,
What other top 5 lists you want to see?
and we'll see you in the next video.